Today's episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Lens Crafters. Coming up, we've got another fighting game for you, and it's the 5th in the series, Soul Calibur V.
And welcome to the Totally Rad Show. We've got a great week lined up for you. Today we're going to be taking a look at the classic, redone Soul Calibur 5. That is a numeral.
A numeral?
A numeral.
It wasn't. It was like,
peace.
Chill out, man.
It wasn't peace. Hey, don't fight.
Word part two.
Don't fight. Don't fight.
Yeah.
Oh boy! And then Tuesday, which is tomorrow, we will be talking our annual Oscar wager. We're gonna put our money where our mouths is.
Well,
on the
By
Oscars.
money you mean pride. On Wednesday.
I always do.
On Wednesday. Yeah,
do you have any pride I can borrow? I've got to go to
Come
McDonald's.
on, can't you just take my pride? I really want this burrito.
I gave you so much pride. I really want this burrito.
On Wednesday, we're going to talk to you about the stuff that's been on our radar for the past few weeks.
Correct. Thursday, I believe the last time we played this game, there were some massive revelations.
Who knows
Maybe
what's gonna
more
happen.
massive revelations when we go back into the vault for Versus.
And then Friday, we're wrapping all things up with a movie review, the brand new Denzel Washington flick, Safe House.
Correct. Big Bang Theory. Reminiscent
pretty cool.
background.
This was sent in by Creative Alan, who created this entire background from scratch, recreated every element of the Big
Love
Bang
it.
Theory logo,
Goodness.
and then threw down our
Goodness.
Goodness gracious.
our show title.
My goodness. You know what? Let's get into some goodness.
Let's, shall we? Soul Calibur is one of the biggest video game fighting franchises, and it turns out, guys, the fire still burns.
Ooh.
Wow, you could have done
I wish I
voiceover
had.
for that.
And Soul Calibur 5 is upon us. The latest installment, brand new engine, all kinds of new changes, but it's, you know, it's your fighting game with weapons. Of course, Soul Calibur famous for weapons, for crazy over-the-top characters, for lots of different modes and creative character. All that stuff is back, but fewer modes this time. Guys, Alex, I'm gonna start with you.
Yes.
Soul Calibur 5.
Also,
Does
I
the fire
I
still
think
burn?
it's a rarity on the show to review a fighting game, the multiple sequels.
Iterations of it.
Yeah. Usually
Oh,
it's
you mean
like,
we
it's like
did
Street
4,
Fighter,
right?
it's like, we did 4. Yeah, usually we haven't done the previous sequel because they don't
Interesting.
come out as often for us.
So
and we're not super fighting genre
no.
experts.
No. But we do enjoy it.
But we
and
do enjoy it.
Soul
We like
Calibur was
smacking
one
each
of those.
other.
Yeah, and Soul Calibur was one of those. There was one at the arcade, or at the movie theater that I went to when I was a kid. So I remember playing Soul Calibur with my buddies a lot.
Dreamcast, didn't it come out on Dreamcast?
Oh yes.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I loved it.
Launch
on
title.
Dreamcast,
Yeah, no. So there's a lot of love for the series in me. Though, you know, fighting games are kind of, for me, they're sort of more party kind of games because whatever. This game is gorgeous. I mean, it's like all the things that I used to say about when Tekken or something would go to like the next version of the systems where you're like, it's so fluid and smooth and everything looks
Dead or
so
alive.
pretty and, yeah,
There's
exactly.
Like there's reflections in the
and
water.
you're breaking through things. I feel like this was almost a full step up. You know what I mean? Where I was like, wow, this is.
Yeah.
It may very well be that Street Fighter went in a very artsy way, and this is sort of going in. You know what I mean? So I haven't seen a fighting game in a while that is sort of
Mortal
this.
Kombat.
Yeah. So I was very impressed. I was like, wow, this game is gorgeous, and I mean, man, it is so Japanese. When you're doing the story mode, first off, the story mode, I was a little disappointed because it started and I was like, ooh, this is sort of an interesting story. And this first cutscene, I was like, yeah, all right, okay, interesting. A little battle, I was like, yeah, all right. And then it goes to all like almost the storyboards. Oh, we ran out of money and couldn't animate it.
It's weird, right?
So we're gonna show you the storyboards.
Weird.
Weird. And they do come back to CG stuff. There's sort
Yeah.
of like each sort of little story starts with a big CG thing, but it's like I almost didn't want them to ever show me the CG. I would have been.
Oh, really? You like the
I would
storyboards?
have.
No, I hated the storyboards, but
just
I'm
been on
wondering if
CG.
I hated the storyboards because I really enjoyed the CG, and I only got 1% was CG. So I feel like they should have just gotten rid of the CG altogether, and it would have made the storyboards a little more palpable or palatable. This is a beyond twisted story. Like literally, there are times where you're like, "Oh, okay. So my job right now is to murder innocent people. All right, fight." You know what I mean? Like, what?
Yeah.
This is what you're having me do? Like, a little
they kind of-
townsperson with a pitchfork.
They
and
kind
it's
of
like,
don't want to,
murder.
though, at certain points. They're like,
Yeah,
I don't
but
want to kill you.
I don't want to.
Slice.
Fight. Big guy with a pitchfork is like, "Huh, I'm just here to protect my wife." You know what I mean? So that was sort of a little odd. I mean, so the story was really odd, but the fighting stuff is very elegant and fun and accessible. I think if I was to really get into this type of thing, I mean, I know both of you guys have the.
I have the
fighting
Soul
sticks.
Calibur 4.
I had the Soul Calibur 4
Yeah.
one too, but I didn't. It was.
You didn't play with it?
I didn't play with it because it's.
Broken?
No, because this
Your
game. No. Guys, remember.
Or you have
The
that fake
game, the
thumb?
amount of buttons, is like easier with the controller because of
I actually didn't find it that way.
You went
do,
for
like,
easy.
Yeah, I went for like better.
Yeah, well,
so I could be better.
So I had a little
bring
bit
out
of
the best in me.
I had a little bit of, because for me, I've always been the guy with fighting games from way back where my friends could use their thumb to press any iteration of two buttons together. I could never do that.
the triggers
So
do
I
the
would
two
always
buttons for
do
you.
these things.
That's
like
why I was
this.
better.
You know what I
But
mean?
with the controller, the trigger buttons do.
That would have been information that the
Yeah,
game should have
that's
given
why
me.
I. That's
Well,
why
you got,
I get it.
yeah, there's a lot of different controller setups.
Right, yeah. But either way, I'm just
That was
saying,
nice.
I think I would have really enjoyed it a lot better had I sort of not felt like, oh yeah, it's a fighting game. I don't like playing fighting games on the controllers that much, but it's still super fun and you really get right back into it. The story is, it's almost sort of worth playing just to see how crazy the story
Did
is.
you do any of the create a character stuff? Because that's pretty intense.
No, I
It's
didn't.
a lot of, like, you can make, I was thinking about Dan. Because
yeah.
you can
I made
make
some shit.
weird ass,
Yeah.
crazy
I made
characters.
a dude with a giant purple afro.
Of course you did.
Of course.
That is one of the coolest. I mean, talk about like. Never mind, can't say it. But amazing that you can make. I mean, it's a dream as a like making your own action figure or whatever. Like to be able to make your own fighting game character and
Yeah.
fight with him. I would have dreamed of that as a kid. And now we can do that, and it looks great. It's like as you said, the graphics in this game are so awesome. So you can make your own character, and the variety of things, the variety of ways you can make him. You have control over what he's wearing, how he looks. The whole. I mean, but to the finer detail.
The fighter detail.
Yes. The story was awful, I thought, and not to say the story was awful, because actually it's kind of interesting to a degree. But the story mode, I felt like, why bother?
And it's funny because the Soul Calibur franchise is so known for having a really robust story mode with lots of unlocks and lots of different mission types and all kinds of crazy stuff. And this feels like a huge step backwards from that.
Especially in light of the latest Mortal Kombat game,
Which
the
knocked
story
it out of
mode
the park.
Brought a lot to it. This did not bring anything to the fights. If you're trying to invigorate me to feel like, all right, now I'm gonna fight. But like what I'm seeing, I mean, first of all, all the story is summed up in the load screen. There's 2 sentences that say exactly what I just had to sit through at awkwardly depicted.
Yeah,
rendition
sometimes
of.
you don't even know what the hell just happened
Yeah,
because
it's
of the
bizarre.
pictures that they chose. You're like, wait, did I?
But
and
like,
then
why?
later, oh, I guess I
why
stabbed that
even
person.
put the effort in that? Just fine tune something else or create a different mode, or like the story brought nothing to it other than I feel that there's like a sense of obligation now with all the fighting games to add because there's so little to do to what works really well. That being said, I've always loved the music in the Soul Calibur games. I didn't love the music in this game. I wanted to. The level design, though, I'm always go back and forth on this because you're never really able to pay attention as the player to the level design because you're so engaged in them. But that's what's so great about the Street Fighter redos, because they made the way you fight, the way the fighting looks, more aesthetically interesting and stylized. So like that is what you're watching.
Yeah.
Whereas the moves that you do aren't totally crazy off the wall. It's much more not realistic, but more subdued. It's just not totally off the wall. So what you're watching is never visually amazing, and the stage design isn't visually amazing. But I remember in like original Soul Calibur, was just like floating level. Like at the time, felt really cool. This I didn't feel any of that. The fighting was fun though. The fighting felt, especially in light of all the other fighting games, so much more pared down, so much more. Just a punch, a kick, and whatever. 3 options basically, and then flourishes on there. But it's not like I got a Hadouken, I got a whatever. And the blocking, I felt very much in tune to the timing of I could block a guy when he does that because he's not like I don't know what his fireball animation is or his whatever animation is. So I felt fairly engaged with the fighting mechanic, but I didn't love this game.
Well, I kind of agree with you guys that it's a very odd Soul Calibur installment because as a pure fighting game, when I'm fighting, I love it. It feels like Soul Calibur 2 to me, which is my favorite one. And it just feels perfect, really great. And there's some odd changes that I don't know if I love. Like, the meters are all different now from Soul Calibur 4 to Soul Calibur 5. And when you... I can't remember the names of everything. Everybody's going to criticize me, I'm sure. But the block breakers or whatever they're called that you used to be able to do, now you still do them, but you need to charge up a meter in order to do that. But you can just block, and if you time your block right, it basically does what that guard break or whatever it's called does anyway. So it makes it more difficult to do because you have to charge up a meter. But then you don't need to ever do it. And so it took some getting used to, but man, I love the Soul Calibur franchise, and it felt right. The characters look great. Everything looks great. It's just all the other stuff that I love in Soul Calibur games is missing or sort of half-assed. As you guys said, the story mode is odd and half-assed, and as you alluded to too, especially in light of I think the best fighting game of this generation, Mortal Kombat, which did such a great job with that. But more than that, I'm missing all of the awesome challenges, the like timed modes and survival modes and team modes. All that stuff's gone. There's like this weird unlockable legendary mode, which is just harder, and there's just not a lot of meat on the bone. There is an online mode, which it works well and is you can probably spend a lot of time there. And the creative character stuff is very cool, but there's not like all the deep unlocks. And I remember spending hours on Soul Calibur, like unlocking crap and doing weird, having to, kill a guy with Voldo with a specific combo in order to unlock a certain thing. And none of that's there anymore. You can unlock these cool things for the creative character modes, but beyond that, it's...
Would have been cool to play story mode with your unlocked character. I mean, not your unlocked character.
Your created character?
Your created character.
Yeah.
But I also
even then
admire the story mode to a degree, with it not... Like, other story modes have to cater to the fact that anyone's going to pick any player.
Yeah.
But there's something to being able to... If the story was better, I would have admired it. Like, this is the
iteration
story
of
of the
different
game.
people,
But that's
Unfortunately,
what
that story
Mortal Kombat
doesn't
did it.
require... Mortal Kombat, couldn't we switch it every state? Like, there were
but it
certain
changed
levels.
people, but
then
told you who you were playing.
It played through the entire...
Back characters.
No, you played through all...
Every single guy.
chapter
And this
would
was
be a
like
new
3
character.
different dudes that but really one guy's thing. Let me pose a philosophical question to you guys that no one here is really equipped to answer. Do you think you could do a fighting game, a story-oriented fighting game that isn't like story and then, okay, now this is traditional fighting game. Could you not do with having all the combo system, whether it's a Street Fighter or whatever, same things, but it's more like a Final Fight, like Double Dragon, like it's a free-flowing, I mean, do they make those like third-person action game, but like fighting brawlers, I guess?
The problem with that is if you're
like Ninja
moving
Gaiden,
through the
maybe?
environment,
Yes.
it's difficult to then have do your combos because
But you're still.
navigating through the
But
environment.
think about like in Uncharted, then when you do your melee and people are shooting, you like
Batman.
Batman,
Arkham
right?
City
Batman,
had some
right? Like that.
combo punch
that's kinda
movie
true.
Like
things.
that, but with like it's street. So like it's all the same moves, and those guys can only do those kinds of combo systems against you.
Didn't Mortal Kombat
and then-
have an adventure game?
No,
installment?
another one you played.
No, I think Mortal
and you
Kombat
played
did.
the adventure game. It wasn't Mortal Kombat. It was another game, and you were like, but the adventure game was really awesome. You loved it. I remember you saying that.
He always does this
He always
stuff.
does.
Wait,
that.
what if you had an MMO like Batman, where there's a bunch of you in this, like all the thugs that those are all people,
That's called
like
DCUO.
random people. Like no, but it's fighting game mechanics,
I
But
don't
this
know.
is,
I think you're off
just
reservation.
making- yeah, he's
I don't
definitely
know
off
if it's
reservation.
possible.
That is something.
That
And
is something.
Soul Calibur
That
5
is something.
I think it's gonna feed the fighting fans' desire. It's just us, our perspective, which is sort of the casual fighting fans.
Doesn't transcend, doesn't break through.
It doesn't,
Yeah,
but
it's
it's
Shakespeare.
a solid fighter, and I'm having a blast playing it, and it looks pretty.
Yeah.
So.
All right, everybody, be sure to stick around. We're going to be answering one of your Twitter questions right after this. But first, we want to thank LensCrafters for allowing our man behind the mans.
I have to admit,
Finally see something.
there've been many episodes that have been blurry.
Very blurry. And this is how we correct those problems. Check it out.
Hey guys, so I decided to come from behind the camera and came here to LensCrafters to check out their AccuFit digital measurement system. Did you know that you can take the same eyewear prescription to a different vision care professional and actually see differently? Here we go. These are them. The placement of your prescription in your frames is very important to seeing your best, and that's why it should be custom fit to your face. So with this in mind, LensCrafters has designed and launched AccuFit technology, an exclusive state-of-the-art digital measurement system that delivers the best possible placement of your eyewear prescription within your eyeglass frames.
It measures from here to here, here to there, spits up these numbers, lets us know exactly how to cut out your lenses and what.
AccuFit technology precisely measures the relationship between your eyes, face, and frame to more accurately place your prescription in your eyeglass frame. And it's been proven to be 5 times more precise than manual measurements. More precise optical measurements results in clearer, crisper vision. Oh yeah, I like those. Those are great. So crystal clear. So this was an awesome experience, and you guys have to check it out. So go to lenscrafters.com/AccuFit to find a local store so you can try out their AccuFit system.
So thank you, LensCrafters, for allowing us to be coming to you gloriously in focus. We'll see you guys later.
Check us out tomorrow for our picks in this year's Oscar wager.
Today's Twitter question comes to us from Lucas Brown at Lokified, who asks, if you could choose to live in the Matrix Awakened or the Grid, Tron as a user, which would you pick?
Both kind of shitty.
Obviously Tron.
Yeah.
Well,
Obviously Tron.
sure,
There's-
but both of them you're
there's
running.
pros
You're
and
constantly
cons.
running.
What's the con of the Tron?
You're assuming that you are you are Tron. What about the guy who is just there to play lacrosse?
Yeah,
And then like
what's highlight? What the hell is highlight?
Last game.
I've never heard of highlight. My buddy's playing frisbee. I got a highlight stick.
Right.
What am I from Miami?
30 Rock last week. He's like, we
Although-
played the most dangerous game.
Highlight? Yeah.
Although if you're in Tron Legacy, then you're like dancing in clubs with chicks and that
I don't
punk
think
music.
you get that guy.
Yeah.
I think you get
No,
Tron
dude,
water,
anything
light
that gets
cycle,
me on the
and you
light
get destroyed.
cycle is awesome.
Yeah. Now let's think about.
What if I'm just, like,
that
going
being
for a
said,
stroll in my
You're in a
life?
fantasy
Matrix,
world.
but
You're in a fantasy
Matrix-
world. It's not reality. That's the whole point of the
But-
Matrix.
and here's
This
the
is
thing.
reality.
But if you're in the
Otherwise-
Matrix and you're not the
Matrix.
one, it sucks.
No, because
No,
you
it's
can
awakened.
still do
They're all
stuff.
sucks.
But you can still do this once you know, hey, this stuff's not here. Whoa, I know kung fu.
No, you
just be
don't.
like,
No,
just
that's,
be like,
that's
that's the
not
because you're the
awakened.
one.
That's non-awakened.
No, that is awakened.
You mean
awakened?
like in the like shitty thing with like spores?
Yes,
No,
that's
he's in
awakened.
the Matrix.
In the Matrix, but you
But in
know.
the Matrix movie.
No,
but
in
you're
the
awakened.
Matrix.
Get these
No,
questions
because
You're
you're
right.
plugged in.
awakened.
You're plugged
Otherwise-
in, but you know you're plugged in. That's what awakened
But none of them
means.
ever go in. Only the people that go in are the action
It's Joey
stars.
Pants in the Matrix, where he's like, he can use the phone and get out
Yeah,
of the.
he knows he's there.
You're in the
like-
Matrix.
But you're
that's
not
like-
in the
but
like
that's not the-
Neferatu or whatever it's
Yeah,
called, the Nefertiti.
Nebuchadnezzar.
Right, where you're like eating porridge
But
and
all-
you got like
but that's the
weird,
masses.
weird
You're not the
military.
The only
Nebuchadnezzar.
people that are awakened inside of it are like doing a mission. No one's just like chilling like that.
That's what you would be
talking
doing.
about.
You'd be at the steak restaurant going, I know it's steak.
That's like
but
saying I'll be in Tron only as the badass guy.
No, it's asking you, would you want to be in the world of Tron
Well,
as
the
a
Matrix,
user
of
or
course.
the Matrix?
If I could be enlightened inside there,
obviously
then obviously the
Matrix.
Matrix.
Oh God, you guys are
How
so
is it
wrong.
not?
It's Tron.
Tell me why it's not.
Tron's fun. The Matrix is like, oh, this is all fake and stupid.
No,
He's just
but
like,
I'm-
this steak tastes like poo.
No, but once you have
No, he said this is the best steak I've ever had in
Yeah,
my life.
that is true. He
Yes.
said that. But he knew it
come
was
on,
wrong. He knew it was
but
fake.
and he
just
said,
like in Tron. That's my point to you. That's what I'm saying.
You're all out of order. This is out of order.
Twitter question.